So I gotta turn this shit down. Where eyes? I'm trying. So that's supposed to work. Yeah, it does. Okay. Audio. Output. I'm just gonna do it like down and down. And it should stay up. Okay. Guys, I know it's like really late. So I'm like hoping that somebody calls in. And if not, it's fine. Because I kept my word. The what's the thing called? The poll. The poll said that 22 people voted. Okay. And 65% said they were gonna call. Just to make sure I get the heard, guys. It's like, oh, is it not 11:45? Does it even matter if I'm live? That is this phone. I bet yours is phone. That is such bullshit. I said I'm live. It says the event's like it's like I'm not live. Oh, it's gonna show it now. This fucking does that shit. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's going someone else. And you know what? You know what? They did that to me on purpose. Yeah, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get monetized if you curse within the first, you know what I'm saying, few minutes, and then like I'm like really get really upset. Okay, so I can hear it. Now this is what I want to know. Oh wait, un momento por favor. So that can be seen. Now, I need to present the numbers in the thing. I'm just gonna share a screen. Oh, actually. Let me. Oh, so crazy. So, guys, thank you for your patience. I'm a content creator. Actually, I am. So pretty new. There's tons of stuff to learn about YouTube. It's like insatiable. So, you guys can actually call it any time, but what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna play this.
Getting out of town, y'all. God damn! I'm good. Good catch. That's how you know I'm drunk this for the God damn! Why you didn't tell me it was a step right there? Getting out of town, y'all. God damn!
So we got that out of the way. All right. So we're gathered here today because of this. Let's see here. I'll share a screen. Actually, I think I said it. I say it so many times, but I don't know if people just want to leave just like really wild comments, you know, just because they want to like vent and give out all this kind of like crap, or if they genuinely, you know, it's nothing genuine about it at all, right? Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, I'm like, how am I supposed to know when somebody calls? This, I'm using like this new software. It's all new to me. So what the hell am I talking about? Can this one go away? Can I make this guy? Yeah, so the guy just has to go away. And I'll make this lower. Let's see here. So I'll pull this up again because I thought this was crazy. And, you know, at the first glance, I thought it was funny. But I hadn't really given it much thought, right? Okay. So this is what happens. Now, so you see, all these people claim that, so this is the reason why today, actually, well, Chrisean Rock is from Baltimore. So that's just what it is. And one of the very first comments I got on that video that is, I think it's grown to almost like 2,000 views now, or something on its way. I'm gonna make sure. So that's just yeah. One of the very first comments on that video was, "She not from Baltimore no more." Talking about Chrisean, you know. So they're like starting to disown her very early, right? And not just Baltimore, but like a lot of people, especially if you look at those comments. Now, I left most of them up, to be fair, as I said in the comments. But like, there's some things I just absolutely don't tolerate, because it's just like, I am for freedom of speech. I'm for freedom of thought. I'm not for, so being so unintelligent. If I say that you're unintelligent, that's kind of like me, that's kind of insulting, right? Because I don't know that. How can I say that? Like, I'm purposefully being like insulting when I say that, because I probably can't honestly say that I know you enough through the comments, well, depending on what you say. I mean, because if you just call someone stupid or she sounds slow, that really, so for me, what I see and what I say, I see a lot more, but what I say is, I don't tolerate the unintelligible, because there's a big difference, right? You show your intelligence through all of everything that you are allowed to do, through your expressive behavior. So that's your actions, right? So that's the things you say, that's the thing. So that's communication when you write these things. So if every moment of your life and all of your interactions, you are allowed this arena to tell the world, whomever that may be, your children, your family, yourself when you look in the mirror, God if you believe, everyone, who you are, what you stand for, right? And none of us are perfect, right? So we have moments where we may, let's say, for lack of a better word, lack in character, right? Okay. So one of the things that I had to learn is accountability. I thought that I was pretty like accountable person, right? But it's accountability in every single thing. So that's the thing I think that's so like, I am so open to constructive criticism, right? Things that make sense, things that, so you present a problem and then we can solve it, sort of thing. I'm not into criticizers. You just saying shit. You know what I mean? So again, it's, not to drown out on one thing, but just to go back to the unintelligible. So when I'm saying that you are unintelligible through your actions, so these words that you put up, you prove to me, and this is my channel since you decided to leave a comment, and it says to me that in those words you are unintelligible, and I've gained you that I can't even. So this is something that I can't even work with to make it knowledgeable to a level that I could even, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I say that unintelligible thing. Now that is not something anyone has to be, but when if you just have to say something nasty, if you just have to get right back, if you are sitting back and you are just relishing this right here, right now, right here, right now. And again, I know that it's late, but I highly doubt that out of the, so that was 60%, so 22 votes. I highly doubt that there's like no one person that didn't see or doesn't see this live or anything, right? Now, YouTube will tell you how many people are in the chat, but they won't tell you how many people are watching. Now, this telephone line is up. I'm online. Chrisean is not on there. There's no Chrisean in the tags as far as what you can't see, like the description, keywords, none of that. I didn't even do that. Totally forgot. I actually forgot to do that, right? But here's the thing. So did you see this? So this is not a situation where people are just here to write this girl's name or anything like that. my channel has tons of other content on it. If you just look, that's just what people look at the numbers. That's just what people decided to look at. That's what they wanted to give a shot to. And again, like I said in the post, I thank you all. I thank you all who stayed and took a look at a gander at all the other things. And throughout the comments, you'll see a lot of people that really just connected with the person. So, so I'm going to get back to this, to why I'm actually having the show tonight, because this is, so I am not a part of Chrisean's age group. I didn't even know. I think I heard of Blueface, but I am not quite sure. To be perfectly honest with you, I am not sure that I've ever heard of Blueface. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think. No. It would have. I'll keep it right there. I don't think that I heard of Blueface before they got together. I do believe that was the first time I was alerted to him, and I'm really trying to think of it, but I cannot remember a moment in time where it had, like, oh, this is, this Blueface kind of thing. I don't think that happened. When I found her, it was the two. So, and it was because she's from Baltimore. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the city I'm from, And so then I was like intrigued with that. And then she's the sport. She's like a tomboy. She was so different. She's not like the average bear. I was like, oh wow, this is very intriguing. And there's several times where Blueface had even called her, there's some civilized interviews. There's very few out there, but there's one. There's like, all right, let me just say this one that I've seen legit, and I just take, I've been taking my time watching that one over the past year, where he speaks highly of her. He talks about how she's actually intelligent and this and that, and so they have these moments, sort of thing. So anyway, I found them together. Now, what I saw was a video of him chasing her, and I did that on that channel, Reality Rewind. This space that I created, PrincessLiteFut, was just for all of my creative thoughts and properties and things like that, and to kind of get away. But then somehow, that mess carried over here. So I was over there, and I put that first video up, and that was of him chasing her down to the bathroom. And she had his phone. He snatched her hair out of her head, and she had found the content in his phone. And I said right then and there, I said, okay, she's in an abusive relationship. This is awful. This is really bad, right? So I said, I'm going to follow this because I believe that she found something in his phone. And God damn it, I don't think it's cheating. Because, I mean, I know the kids are different nowadays, but she took it really far. And I mean, they already have money. He has the money. She doesn't have the money. So it's like, if you're going to do something like that, then, clearly, rationally thinking, looks like that person has something. Looks like you have something to lose to that person that has your phone. So I said, wow, this is very interesting. So I did that video, and I said, wow, this is the beginning of something. I said, I'm going to call this the Chris Blue Chronicles. So some more things happen in the media with oh my gosh, just a fight of them on the street. And then just they posted her lip and her nose. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So, and I go, and I think I made before that, there was other video I made. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna let this go, and I, go back over here to PrincessLiteFut, do my other kind of stuff. So then they do Crazy in Love, right? I said, they gave them a fucking show with this bullshit. So I was like, God damn it, man. Well, I do reaction, to movies and TV shows and things like that. So it kind of fits in, right? So I said, all right, I'll go ahead and I'll follow these guys again. And then hopefully, right? Because I don't do anything without a purpose. And I'm going to speak. So that's just how it goes. So when I'm speaking, that's just going to have a purpose. So I said, well, what I can do is I can follow the show and not glamorize it, because that's just not who I am. But I can definitely share my plights with the domestic violence, with the high amount of domestic violence that goes on in Baltimore, and things like that, and just other, growing up and raising children and all that sort of thing. Because I was pretty sure she was gonna get pregnant. I mean, I think at that time we'd already learned about the several different situations that had happened with her gynecologically, where other children who didn't come about. All right, so we'll say that. So, I said, well, this is going to be actually worth following because I can get a message across in between this ratchet shit. So that's me. That's PrincessLiteFut. That's why I'm doing it. I understand that sometimes you get drowned out, right? And so there's a lot of channels that you see. I think I've not seen one other channel other than this one. And that's just to be honest, and let me know. All the other channels that I've seen, and you just look at the dates that they even started their channels, and then the content. So it's like they've done it just strictly because her name grows, right? People come, so that's what it's going to do, right? So then you just got that going on regardless. So it doesn't matter if a person wants to compartmentalize me in their mind as one of these people who's done this thing, because God is watching and so are you. And you are not the only one. This channel's gotten up almost, I think, 200,000 views in its lifetime span. So I don't believe in one bit that the bulk of my audience, and shit, that's a lot of people, and only 1,000 people decided to stay, actually subscribe. And so there's like, why do, and the analytics say that 3,000 people consistently come back. Can you believe that? A total of 4,000 people come to the channel. 3,000, aside from the 1,000, consistently come back and they just haven't subscribed, but they keep coming back, isn't that? So that's called hate, right? That's what that's called. I mean, that's just what that's called. Discrimination, all that shit you got to go through, whatever, right? And then for the 1,087 plus people, and I thank you so very much, who have decided to join, they see something in me, in the channel PrincessLiteFut. And in some little one particular content that I've created, they've connected with the actual person. And for that, I'm grateful and I'm appreciative of. And so now the 3,000 people that come back, they are the same people that will come here, check for Chrisean, say bullshit, want to see what happens if she goes down, want to see my channel go down, what the fuck are you doing, come get ideas, all that bullshit. That's what it's all about. And so that's so I know I'm going into like another thing, and I apologize for that, but that needs to be said, because people really don't understand when you are genuine, you have a purpose, you use your vehicle to do. I've seen so many channels on here. There are channels that actually do talk about God, and they don't get it. That's not what the people actually want to see. All right. And I think those people that join me and the little live thing down there for the, but that's cosmetics. It's a shame that they don't show you how many people actually come into the live stream and view it. They only count the number that opens up the comments. And it's a shame because they know that numbers attract numbers, which is another cosmetic thing. So let me just move off the cosmetic surface and just keep moving forward. So right here, Sheila. When I first saw this, I thought this was funny. And I guess it's why I kind of moved on, because it's uncomfortable to even admit to myself that I thought this was funny. But let's just, I mean, it was. So it's like slapstick comedy. It's almost funny like if it weren't for real. So, oh. I have to turn this one sound down in a second. You heard that?
Welcome to the conference service.
Oh, wait. I got it. Sitting built in the top. I'm just going to turn it down there. I think. I'm just going to get that's like, all right, let me make sure this can be. Oh my gosh, this sound thing is still on. I cannot fix this though. It's like off now. So, oh my God, I think I know what's going on now. This is crap. Okay, perfect. Now I don't gotta hear that shit. Oh my God, that's right. So, but I want to hear the Zoom thing. All right, let that go. Now, let me see this. Okay. Let me see what it can be right over here. Okay. So that is that. Now let me see.
But in terms of their biggest concerns and complaints as it relates to crime, and then what is your message tonight and to them about how we solve it?
So there's three things. One, people don't feel safe. People
Okay, cool. That was
are afraid. Carjackings, thefts,
This is so crazy trying to use this.
and people want to see the presence of officers in their community, engage with them, walking the beat, talking to them, getting to know the residents, and that's not happening.
He just threw a shoe at her. So I didn't even know. I didn't even know this was a shoe. So now when I went to Sheila's Instagram, I do see that she's like, it's all like just her now. So she definitely got rid of this guy.
Hey, I saw police officers that were
That day, I went to her, I went up online and that last live stream and I looked up an article really quickly. I just searched like update on Sheila Dixon. Like not update on Sheila Dixon, but I go, whatever happened with, like literally when I search for things, I search exactly what I want to know. So I'm like, whatever happened with Sheila Dixon, you know, husband throws shoe. So this article immediately comes up. And I mean, as far as I could see, it looks like they did follow up with her. I believe it was like the next day. They were talking like a little bit more about the purpose of the, you know, the interview that morning. But then the woman had started out with, you know, saying, you know, are you okay? You know, yesterday it looks like, you know, whatever's going on. And she goes, yes, I'm fine. And then she just moved forward with like whatever, you know, surface thing they were talking about. So that's as far as I got with that. But I said to myself, this is horrible. This is actually abuse. It's actually what it is. This is fucked up. And it just is like, and I mean, they said that in the article, you know, Sheila, oh my God, this is terrible. So wait, is this what the TikToker said? Here it goes. When Sheila Dixon is being interviewed on live TV and her husband is fighting with her and throwing stuff at her. So, this is just a bit much. And at the point where, so I'm just like, this shit, where does this really derive from? This abusive nature? Because you couldn't tell me that that man isn't abusive, or that person, whomever it was. And I honestly thought it was her son. Because I said, a woman like that, the mayor? Well, she's a former mayor. How she couldn't possibly like allow someone that close to her to get in the way of something so important. That's insane. But definitely, in fact, you know, this man is able to throw shoes at her. Several items. I think first it was a sock, then it was a shoe, and then I think he must have said, "Well, it's gonna be my foot up your ass after that." You know, and that's just crazy as shit. I just can't. So I say, this person is that close to her, and he's that, it would have to be, and this person has to be senseless and or very jealous. So I say, it would have to be a child, a teenage son, because I think this woman, not even I think, I read that she's married and divorced twice. So I say, at this point, even before I knew that, I say, this is the former mayor. At this point, you know, you don't get that far not knowing exactly who's around you. So I say, there's no way that this has to be a child, right? This has to be someone who totally just pulled this shit on her out of the blue. She wasn't expecting for them to throw a freaking shoe at her. A sock, a shoe, right? He got her. So I said, that's a senseless person. That's like a child that would do that. But then I said, well, damn. When I looked back into this just yesterday with that live stream, I said, my goodness, it could have been a man, you know? She's divorced twice. So perhaps this third go around is not her husband, you know? So it's not a person that she's known very long. And or maybe she hasn't quite learned to screen the person or know exactly, you know, because I couldn't understand a man being around a woman of that caliber and having that much going on for her and jeopardizing that for her and himself, because she's with you. You're in her arena. This is in Sheila Dixon's home. This is her home. Look at this. He throws 2 items at her. The first is speculated to be well, they don't actually say anything about the first item that I see she kind of like ducks from. The second item is speculated to be a shoe. And so I say this must be a person who is deeply jealous or so when you're jealous, you're overtaken by even the welfare of yourself, right? Those are I think that's the worst people to be around to have in your actual family. So it's not, close proximity, Jesus, I guess that's one of the worst people to not be able to see, right? Or the worst character traits not to be able to see inside of people that are around you, because that can harbor and fester. And that when a person grows something like that, they don't care about their well-being. They only seek to take you down. See, this is why what I was saying earlier was all very relevant. All because there's this kind of hating type of thing, where people say so many things about this girl, Chrisean Rock. She is ratchet. She is this. She is that. There's so many of us that speak so much on us, and I mean brown women, right? I don't get any negative comments in there that say that I am not, that say anything of substance, right? That's negative of substance, right? You are not well-spoken. You are ignorant. You are stupid. You are not charismatic. You are, you know what I mean? You are biased. It's nothing that is worth a second of a thought, let alone a debate, right? But yet no one, yet here we are, right? But look at the comments relishing and speaking of all the negative things about that person, right? So in any event, so we're going to go back to this thing. So we're sitting here watching this person sabotage this woman. I mean, what does he think is going to happen after this is over? He's done. He's out the goddamn house. I saw her in the pictures and she saw it by herself. So this goes on a lot. I say, is this Baltimore? Because, one thing someone told me is that you don't want to compare yourself when you're talking about, I don't know if they told me or they told someone else that they were giving some advice on YouTube. Actually, I think I was like a third party listening with that. I hope so. I hope so. Because I totally disagree, because I guess, I'd already shut my channel at that point, and that's just not how I do it. So with any event, they were like, you don't want to use yourself as like a personal comparison or your life or anything like that. It's kind of just like, what the fuck do you think this is about? This actually is YouTube. This is actually a personal vlog. So yeah, I am kind of going to do that, right? Just a bit, not down to the point of names and things like that. But, and I mean, abuse is a horrible thing. And I say, I am not a victim of abuse. I am a victor, I stand, sit, lay, speak victoriously in everything that I do. So I'm not a victim in that. So I say, of course I would bring in some of the things that I've gone through in comparison in order to help the victims become victorious. So that is what that is about. So being in Baltimore, and then you're seeing all this thing, I had forgotten that the goddamn blueface was from Baltimore. And I said, wait, let's go back to her, right? Because you're in this relationship and you can kind of just leave, right? Especially in the beginning, especially you got money. You already got money. See, I didn't know that was a real thing, that you needed money to leave an abusive relationship until I found myself in a woman's battered shelter. A young woman, just one day, everything going for them, a car, my career, my kid, had my little kid with me. And then after one night, the next night, I have nothing. I'm in a shelter with all these people. And unfortunately, not all those people were taking it. None of those people were at the shelter just because they were bad at women. They were doing it as a way to just, kind of get into the systems, kind of get into to a thing and all this thing. And unfortunately, I couldn't even stay there long enough to take part in some of those benefits. No, I could not. Some of the, so I won't go into that. Some of the things so we say, no, we have to be a little more homeless than this for just a bit. And thank God that was just for a bit, and we were good. And we are victorious, right? So I say, well, is there some sort of connection? I see this woman sitting here. This is the freaking former mayor. This guy's sitting there throwing shit at her. She can't even get through a freaking interview, right? And I doubt he's got the resources to bring in what she's bringing in, or else he would behave well enough for those few moments so she can get the freaking word out to Baltimore in the news. It's ridiculous. So then there's my situation. And then, so even before then, there's my mom's, and she's not even from here. My mom's not even from here. But my dad was, and she went through that abuse. And we're all in America, right? God damn it, man. So then I look at all the situations, and it's not just in, so then you got the children, right? So I would say that the very first abuse relationship that I was in was unfortunately with someone who's very dear to me, right? Someone you just kind of was brought in the world kind of with, right? And I'm victorious, and so is she. She's no more victimizing me in that, right? So we're all victorious now. But again, so that's one relationship. Then you got another, right? And then you got this one, and then you got, so God damn it, man. And so then I've had 104 jobs, and I've said this before, and that's for a particular reason. It's because one of my children had a chronic illness that can get better, that cannot get better. And so there's the state of Maryland is an at-will state. So you don't come to work, you don't have a fucking job, and they don't care if your kid is sick, you're out, right? So we went through some troublesome years where there was like 8 years consecutively, I had about 8 jobs. So I racked up 64 very quickly, and that's all proven down at the unemployment office. They were like, wow, you're not a quitter. Or a chicken dinner. Damn it, you're a winner. All right. So yeah, well, I'm not a quitter. We'll see if I won when we're all standing in line waiting to get into that kingdom of heaven. Then. So yeah, but so one of those jobs was so I witnessed a lot of abuse too on the job, and I've dealt with that shit really fucked up, and discrimination, which in turn and harassment, which turns into abuse. As a diner I worked for, I had a woman elbow me. She's a white woman, heavy set. She elbowed the shit out of me. This is absolutely for no reason. She was upset, as she often is. One of these people that just throw their weight around when they're angry, sort of thing, and they want to take it out on someone. And I think this is kind of what the other staff was used to, and I was pretty new, and this is my turn. I couldn't believe that shit. I couldn't believe this lady just said that to me. So now I go to speak about the man who hired me, which is her brother. And then, he looks at me like, what the fuck? And so, like, and I don't know about that kind of way. So anyways, so then we go with the lady and confront her, and she completely lies. It didn't happen. She didn't shove me like that. And I said, well, you just admit that you shoved me. You see, you didn't shove me like that. And then, so basically, he doesn't see the problem, and then I have to leave. What the fuck is going on here, right? Abuse. So this happens, even if you're on the job, right? You're on the job, when you say, this is the reason why I say, and I agree with when my mother told me, if you're good at something, you don't do it for free. Absolutely not, especially not here, not in America. Why? Because people will abuse you. They will abuse the privilege. Now, why is that so? Coming back to, is it the American way? Because I feel like this goes back to slavery. Well, it just does. It's just like, why don't you come to the horse and say, hey, come on, let's be friends. Let's get to know each other. right? Oh, look at you. It's clean you up. You know, you like me, I like you. Talk to the horse a little bit, and then you pat it, and then you kind of slowly get the horse to the, and you ride the horse, you get to ride the horse. What, they have a whip. They beat the horse into submission. You know, you get these animals into, this is horrible what I saw at the zoo. They have these elephants doped deep fuck up. I mean, it's bad. It's so bad that it's a good thing that they have them down at in the heart of the zoo. So like by the time you get down there, hopefully you've seen everything else, because by the time you see that, you know, your heart's just going to sink just a little bit if you got one, right? So here we are again, dociled into it, right? Elephants are dociled into that zoo, right? You're going to beat that horse so you can ride it, right? And this is but these aren't the makings of our land, Native America, before slavery. The beating of it all is what took place to entice the brainwashing. So this abuse is a byproduct of brainwashing that is done by way. So it's just, you see it? What I'm saying just wraps back around to the abuse. So I guess I'm trying to say that the domestic violent relationship is the product of the brainwashing, and that is done by the mechanism which is called abuse. Okay, so I think that is a better way to put it. And so that is something that is definitely, unfortunately, the American way. I've seen that in the job market, on the job. I've seen that in different family structures. And this is not even just my own. One of the 104 jobs, and I stopped counting at 104 because I said, if I get monetized on YouTube, then it'll be my 105th job and it'll be my last job. And it just wasn't true. I didn't have the realistic idea of YouTube. So I'm at 107 now. And I think this one is great. I think this one is going to be great. But in any event, so I had another job where I went inside of people's homes as a nursing assistant. And so I completed different tasks for them, activities of daily living. You know, some people I would just have to go and wash their dishes only. Some people I had to help them get dressed. Some people I just had to draw their baths, sit in the shower with them. And then some people involved a little more care where you really have to sit there and wash them up and get them dressed. But you do that activity and then you go. The saddest part about that job was that I came across family members in those homes that were in the rooms that would open the door for me, let me upstairs to their own grandmother, grandfather, brother, sister. I had a family in a community that I probably can't even say because they'll strike the video or do something like that, but it's just simply the truth. But God knows my heart, and you were watching. I was paid $16 an hour to go over there and to walk that young man with a disability in a wheelchair on their day that everyone in that community walked around with their families. But they didn't want to wheel their own disabled son around in the community. They did not want to be seen with him. So I was called there by the state. I worked for the state. This family didn't even pay for it, right? And this service is supposed to be used for activities of daily living, but they saw that as one. Wow, really? And I mean, it was a family of 4 or 5. And it doesn't matter if the father is there, and the father was certainly there. You know why? Because I saw the family in passing. Because my job was to walk him around this neighborhood. And I'm a woman of small stature. This man that I wheeled around was a young man of about 18 or 19 years old. He's just disabled. So he cannot walk for himself. He's not cognitive of what is going on, right? And his family refused to be a part, to wheel their own son on this sacred day with the rest of the community. Is that abuse? Is that abuse? Is that abuse of the government benefit? Is it fuck all that? what about that child? And how cognitive is he? Just because, you know, he's making sounds and he's not making contact with you, right? That doesn't mean that his consciousness isn't aware of what is going on. And you know what? He's got his ticket already into heaven. There's no standing in line for that young man. And the whole time, while he's being called a good old happy boy, no one knows why he's truly happy. No one knows. Is that abuse? I've seen it in so many ways, in so many stages. And so I asked myself, is abuse the American way? People are called to that. 12 and a half hours is the shift of a full-time registered nurse in the state of Maryland. 12 and a half hours on floors that do not have the rubber mats that protect your spine. Okay. You must work at least 36 hours a week. You must in order to even get benefits. So wow. If you do not get relieved at your 12 and a half hour shift and you are a signed contractual nurse, you cannot leave. When the plan, when that happened, people were not allowed to leave. Is that abuse? It's just in everything we do. So no, it's not a Baltimore thing. It's not at all. I had asked myself that question some time ago, and I said, it's just a place where so many, and then having so many other friends that I've grown up with, and then seeing, you know, mom have some girlfriends that have gone through some situations, and I say, well, wow, is this really just this particular city where we are in? And then and because I wasn't like a big online person, I actually hadn't come to YouTube until 2013, when a friend of mine, oh my gosh, I'm so mad. I'm not mad, but she was so right. So in 2013, a friend of mine told me about this freaking Illuminati mess. She goes, I'm going to tell you something. But if I tell you, I'm not going to be able to untell you. And you're not going to be able to stop thinking about it. And my dumb ass should have been like, well, don't tell me. And I'm like, what is it? So then she like tells me about the Illuminati. And she goes, yeah, you got to go on this app like named YouTube. You got to see what's going on. I'm like, shit. So I go over there and she's absolutely freaking right. And then she tells me about KENNEKA Jenkins, right? And so then after that, because, you know, to tell me about the YouTube and Illuminati thing, that was really kind of interesting, all sort of thing. But then she told me, because she's my friend of childhood, and she knows that I've had tons of conspiracy theories, what people would call conspiracy theories, you know, since forever, since I said the television was actually watching us back. And then they have these class action lawsuits in 2018 about the television is watching us back, you know. So she knows, like, so that's why she like shared with me. So I kind of like get it, but yeah. And any event. So then years later, so then I say, all right, so it's confirmed the thing. I am cool with YouTube. I don't even know that YouTube is a thing that you can actually monetize up at the time, that you can create a channel or anything like that. I thought it was a lot more untangible than that. It's, you know, as far as like the everyday person. And again, I am still starting the PrincessLiteFut YouTube school for free. Those videos, I'm just got a lot to work on. Still got to do my freaking the office beat. I got to do that. I'm busy. In any event. So then, so I leave the YouTube thing. I'm not crazy about it anymore. And then this KENNEKA Jenkins thing. Oh my gosh. So then she tells me about KENNEKA Jenkins, and I am just like 2 summers in a row. 2 summers in a row. 2 years of my life. I am locked to the India. I can't get off the YouTube. It's insane. I'm watching these videos. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I cannot. And in my spirit, in my stomach, I know. I know what happened. I know what they did. I can feel it. I know it. I've already put it all together. I already know it. And no one will just flat out say it, right? So then years go and you let it go and all this thing. And then I saw this lady on here. there's a lady on here, and so she said some things that that confirmed everything that I thought, that I felt, that we saw bits and pieces. And then here comes the news. Finally, I think it was just like last year, at the end of the year, they finally brought these people. I don't even think they brought them all to justice, but they're finally admitting that the hotel did it, man. And I'm talking about what they did what they did was dirt dog dirty. I mean, they sold this girl level for level, man. The gang members done that in the sex trafficking, right? Then they're done with her, stick her on the freezer, put her on ice. Then they take out her hypothalamus gland. Fucking Google what that can all mean for you, right? If you're not a savory person, that is sick. This is a sick, demonic world, right? I mean, they've got photos. They have it on there where the people came in with the blue bags. In the book bag, there's blue. So if you worked in a surgical area, if you've been in any surgical area, you understand what's going on. You understand that you can create a sterile field within minutes. You can have a backpack with enough supplies to do minor office surgery, but that's not that minor because you don't expect for your patient to feel anything. Let's just say, right? So it's like it all just confirmed what I already knew, and it's a deep, dark web for real. So like she said, you're not going to be able to unsee it. And so that's the thing. So I don't know. I did have like a, I think I probably should have played the reel of like Chrisean, but I really didn't want to do that, right? Because as much as people talk all this shit, right, they don't really have anything of substance to say. And I just need to prove that time and time again. And I also need to be a woman of my word. And for all that join me, thank you for being a man, a woman, or just being that is out there, darling. Because I believe we're all here now, and stuff like that. I do a segment, night streams. What's out there is now here. So hit the bell for that. That's where I talk about the different species that are coming here now. They're actually here. It's so crazy. I started that series and we were just kind of speculating, but now they showed up at the Miami Mall and in Afghanistan, and they're just coming all around us, rectangles and spheres. All right, guys. So, oh wow, so that's cool. So I've given this an absolute, almost a complete hour. So I've given people like way long enough to come in and to call and cuss me out if they want, or pray, or get out any of their grievances or anything like that. And I'm just not thinking at the end of the day, it just seems like I'm a motherfucking G. Okay. And I thank you for joining me. And I'm going right here, right there. Here we go. That let play his fire. Right. Lightfoot out.
In the beginning of this movement, it was all a dream. The passion, the dedication, the persistence to achieve greatness, to reach each and every speaker from here on out.